Hi, everyone. So what is a serverless database? I'm going to get the obligatory, no, this doesn't mean we don't have servers out of the way. And I'm going to also not really get into how serverless came to be. But what's really important to know is serverless databases, you can't just lift and shift a non-serverless database into a serverless architecture. There's all sorts of connection, networking, scaling, and operational challenges. And you probably came here for one definition. Sadly, I cannot give you one definition because serverless database providers do not agree on how they should work and look. But they do share a few things in common. So first, they are almost all managed services. Second, they are built to support scale. Scaling's hard, whether that be horizontal or vertical, and in a non-serverless context, often very manual, as many of y'all know. And serverless, though, expects to be able to scale up and down because of spiky workloads. And what we've asked from our databases for the last few decades hasn't really changed. Scaling's always been a problem. We want to be performant and available with, we don't want to do a lot of effort. And the reality is, that's still today. We're trying to solve for scale for future problems. We want to be able to scale 100x just in case, because we don't want to spend that time down the road where all we have to do is scale instead of building product and the more interesting things. And serverless is about outsourcing our non-differentiated aspects of our infrastructure. We're not thinking about CPU usage or the size of our storage or even servers, And because the reality is serverless database providers are focusing on sizing for us so we can juggle less things. But with that comes lots of abstractions for things that we previously knew before. And these databases are full of these abstractions. They're helping us reduce those manual operational tasks of maintenance that nobody wants to do. They're better for testing and experimenting because there's just less work to spin them up in the first place. And so we solved some challenges, but there's still challenges that exist. But the awesome thing about these challenges, they're much more user-centric, which are a bit more fun to work on for most of us. For example, in a serverless architecture, a function might open up one or more database connections. This also can happen in non-serverless too. And sometimes you can max out the number of connections. You need to either have connection pooling or a database that supports a high number of connections. Ops doesn't go away. I hate the term ops-free. It still exists. It just looks a little bit different. The complexity shifts, the concerns shift. For example, auto-scaling. It's great, but what happens when it runs away from us and it needs some limitations? And we have to rely on providers to give us those. Distributed infrastructure adds network latency to literally everything that we do. It's great that it exists, but these millisecond hops are all over the place, and our app and database are very unlikely to live on the same production rack. And I think we often forget about literal physical distance between these two things. And so, a solid staging environment can help us see this, but we really need to see it in production, and we need to run the app as close to the database as possible. Configuration still exists, just might look a little different. Database client settings can greatly affect performance, for example. And spend some time, learn how to tweak those and how that affects performance. Your slow queries of the past are still slow on a serverless database. That did not get magically solved. And query performance, though, is something that users care a lot about. And maybe that query returned, but maybe it cost you a lot of money. I like to say that 98% of database use cases are not unique. But if you need to very specifically control how your database operates and have the time and expertise, maybe serverless isn't for you. If you need on-premises or don't have a cloud-friendly architecture where you can deploy a cloud service that talks to another cloud service, or some very specific on-device storage, serverless might not be for you. If you're concerned about working between different database providers and what does migrations look like between them, use things that are built on top of trusted standards like MySQL and Postgres. Don't use something super proprietary that you'll never be able to migrate off easily. And so that's a lot of things. All these have lots of nuances. Hopefully it gives you a little bit more idea of how a serverless database can help both serverless and non-serverless architectures. Thank you so much. And if you want to talk more about it, I'll be at the PlanScale booth, and we can just talk about serverless databases in general. Thanks.